Hello, in this video, we are continuing our lessons from the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Join me. Hello, welcome to Take a Step to a Better You. We are continuing in this video to discuss the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and we are starting a new lesson. Lesson number 2, which is why teach financial literacy. Why teach financial literacy? In other words, why is it important to understand financial education? If you are new, my name is Sherifa, Nakalema. I'm a business owner here in Virginia, USA. And on this channel, I share business tips, YouTube tips, earning money online tips. That's through affiliate marketing, motivation. I like to ask you to take a step to make your life better. And recently I added books. Like I started with this one, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. So at the end of this video, that's when I explain the schedule on this channel. And I also let you know how you get this to listen to it for free for 1 month. But for now, I think I could mention that this is video number 18. And if you haven't or listened to any of them, watched any of the number 1 to 17, please, I have a link below. In fact, it's also at the end of this video, I put a pinned comment. I wrote a comment and I put a link to take you to all of them. It's a playlist I call it Lesson from Robert Kiyosaki. Also in the description, the link is everywhere. You can go and watch those. Otherwise, for those who are riding it with me, we are continuing, and today we are starting a lesson, a new lesson. But before the new lesson, we need to first remember who, especially for the new ones. But from when I did my last live, I was like surprised. All the things I say every day still, some people were forgetting them. So I need to continue reminding you who Robert Kiyosaki is. And Robert Kiyosaki, the one who wrote this book, is a self-made millionaire, and he's an entrepreneur, educator, and investor with a mission to elevate the financial well-being of humanity, starting with one life and one person at a time. I repeat this in every video. But I was recently asking questions. My live, by the way, I have a live that I did on Friday, and you see on the channel. You can go. This time I made it public. You can go and watch. I put Sherifa was live, if you find that video. And then I was asking simple questions. I give out like $10 when you answer a question. I thought these were simple questions, but some people could not really answer them. Yes, I say these things every single day here in these videos. So I'll keep doing it. Who is Rich Dad? The book is called Rich Dad, Poor Dad for a reason. Because there is a rich dad and there's a poor dad. So who is the poor dad? The poor dad was Robert, the author. Robert is real father, real dad. And this was a very intelligent man who was highly educated with a PhD and was the superintendent of education. But he ended up dying broke. And who is Rich Dad? Rich Dad was a friend to Mike's dad. Robert had a friend, Mike. Mike's dad was the rich dad. But actually had a unique story too, because he left school at age 13, 8th grade, but he ended up being one of the wealthiest men in Hawaii. So it's a story we've been following. At age 9, Robert was actually asked his dad, how come you're not rich? And then, he wanted to learn how to make money. Robert, a young boy, was asking his father, and his father said, you know what? I'm just a teacher. I don't know much about making money, but go talk to Mike's dad. That's how the story started. So we ended video number 17. I put some notes. When you see me reading, it means I got notes out of the book. And then sometimes I go back to the book. But for those of you, maybe you are tired of me reading, like the conversations are becoming less. They're less. I was looking a little bit forward. They're less. So we're going to be just paraphrasing more. Now, I got out some notes. When we ended chapter 17, just a reminder before I move forward, the boys had learned how to make money like adults, because the lesson was that the rich make money. They know how to make money. They create money. So the boys ended up being very creative. The other lesson was to be imaginative. They used the comic books to create a library. And the library, they were charging 10 cents to just come read and go. And they ended up, they used to work for 10 cents an hour and then for free. But then ended up making, because they made 30 cents every week to work 3 hours a day, every Saturday. But now in this library business, they ended up making $9.50. If you do some math, what's that in percentage? It's a lot of money. From 30 cents, 60 cents for both of them, they ended up making $9.50 a week, $9.50, and paid the sister, Michael's sister, who was taking care of the library. They paid her $1, and they ended up with a net profit of $8.50. They used to make just 60 cents. Now see how much they made in a week, and they didn't even, they were not even participating. That's the lesson also he gave us. He said, this business, they set it up, and they were making money while they were not even there. Those are the lessons. And Dad was very, very happy, rich dad, because the boys were creative. They created that. So he planned to teach them some more. He said they were ready for some more. But then what happened? There was the fight. They said some bullies came from another neighborhood and came and fought in the library. And I remember they were doing this in the house. So Dad said, no, you can't continue this. So the business closed. These are the things we go through as business owners. Something happens and then your business gets closed. So the library closed. They also stopped working on Saturday, where they were working for Rich Dad. So now we are getting into a new phase. But what he did, for every book, he had a summary. So he put a summary. I know I said we are starting lesson 2. Yes, we are starting lesson 2, but we're going to go through the summary first. Because I thought I could skip it, but no. There are some important, he called this study, he wants you to study, to make sure you remember everything. All these videos that I've been recording, there are lessons. So what he did, he put some questions for you, like the person reading this book. In fact, he called this study. He even has pages where you can write notes. It's supposed to be practical. So I thought it's important not to skip this. He has 8 questions for you. The person who's been reading up to now, he has questions for you. So I'm going to read these questions to you. Because he's assuming you're holding the book. But because you're not, I'm holding it on your behalf. I'm going to read the 8 questions that he has for you. Before we move on to the next lesson, I thought this was important. Because he says that, in fact, he says, it's time to take the story in the chapter along and then ask yourself the following questions. Question number 1. I hope I'll read this slow enough so you get them clearly. Question number 1. How common is the approach to money taken by Robert's poor dad? Do you even remember where we started? Richard, poor dad, he just works. His approach, go to school, get a good job, get good grades, get a good job, and benefits. That's his theory about money. So, and the question is, how common is the approach to money taken by Robert's poor dad? And then question number 2, remember the 8. Robert's rich dad said, true learning takes energy, passion, and a burning desire. What are examples of when this has happened, proven true in your life? What's one lesson you never forgot and why? I think I need to repeat this. The question is, okay. Robert's rich dad said, true learning takes energy, passion, and a burning desire. Now, Robert is asking you, what are examples of when this has proven true in your life? What's one lesson you never forgot and why? Question number 3. Would the pay rate of 10 cents an hour and then nothing an hour have stirred you in the same reaction as Robert? In other words, would you have reacted the same way as Robert did, or being mad, I'm going to quit, and all that stuff that happened? Question number 4. Is it fear that drives most people to work? Are there other factors at play? What do you think? He wants you to think. I think that's why he puts these questions. And then number 5. Is the temptation strong to think that more money will soothe that fear? Why is that such a common reaction? Is the temptation strong to think that more money will soothe that fear? I mean, when you get more money, the fear will go away. Or why is that such a common reaction? Number 6. What's an example from your life when you reacted with your emotions? What's a time when you are able to observe your emotions instead and choose your thoughts? Remember, in the previous video, we were talking about the difference between using your emotions and thoughts. So the question is, let me repeat it. What's an example from your life when you reacted with your emotions? What's a time when you are able to observe your emotions instead and choose your thoughts? Remember, he was encouraging us to think, not just react with emotions. Number 7. Are the rich or the poor more susceptible to those controlling emotions of fear and greed? What do you think that is? Are the rich or the poor? Okay, which one of the two is more susceptible to those controlling emotions of fear and greed? You think the poor are more fearful or more greedy, or the rich? Who? Why do you think so? Why are you choosing the poor or the rich? Who has more of those emotions? And then number 8. Do you think most people realize they are stuck in the rat race? Why or why not? Do you remember the rat race? Go to work, wake up, go to work, pay bills, go to work, pay bills. And in my videos, I tend to say maybe you don't even pay the bills. The bills are left unpaid. The money is not enough. So that do you think most people realize they're stuck in the rat race? Why or why not? That's the question. Now, that's the end of chapter 1. Remember, this is the summary. He had some questions for you. He also summarized the whole chapter, actually. He summarized the whole chapter. So when you have this book and you don't have time to read all of it, you could just go to the summaries. You get an idea. And then he put some pages for you just to make some notes. And now we are moving on to what I called, we are moving on to chapter 2. And remember, chapter 2, I mentioned, I think the style is a little bit different. He's changing it a little bit. Let's see. I made some summaries here so that I don't have to read all of it. The lesson 2 is why teach financial literacy. And then he puts like a subtitle. He says, it's not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep. When you see me reading, I already got it out of here. But I'll go back to the book a little bit because there's a story he's telling. So he likes to explain things a lot. That's why me getting out the notes is not like very easy. I have to decide what to say and what not to say. So, but I think this is important. He gives us like a forward look. He says that in 1990, remember these boys, all this time they were 9 years, they were young. But now he's going a little bit forward. Not a little bit forward, actually a lot forward. He says in 1990, Mike took over his father's empire and is actually doing a better job than his dad. Remember, Mike was Rich Daddy's son. Now he's grown man and he took over the empire in 1990. And according to Robert, Mike is doing a better job than his father. That was the rich father, right? Rich dad. And Robert retired in 1994 at the age of 47. And his wife, Kim, was 37. He's setting up to show us what happened to them. But then we're going to go backwards also. And then he put a note. He said, retirement does not mean not working. For them, for him and his wife, for them, it means they can work or not work. And their wealth growth automatically stay ahead of inflation. So he explains, I had to take out some notes, skip some things, that assets are like planting a tree. You water it for years, and then one day doesn't need you anymore. So its roots are implanted deep enough, then the tree provides shade for your enjoyment. The money just flows in. You set it up, you take a while. Online, this is me now. Online is like the same thing. I keep saying to people, when you're starting out online, you set up things, but then later you start getting passive income, and it's like you put, that's the watering he's talking about. That's online actually. That's a good example. Because you come, work, set up your things, and then later money starts coming passively. Okay, he says, Mike chose to run the empire. That's his Rich Daddy's empire. And him, Robert, chose to retire. Now, I'm going back to the book, page 76. And he says, I considered stopping to make this video short, but then I said, I promise I'll get into the next lesson, so I decided to continue. But it's not going to be so long. So he says, whenever I speak to groups, this is Robert, whenever I speak to groups of people, they often ask what I would recommend that they do. Like they ask, how do I get started? Is there a book you would recommend? What should I do to prepare my children? What's your secret to success? How do I make millions? These are the kind of questions people ask me. And he says, whenever I hear one of these questions, I'm reminded of the following story. Now, he's telling a story that I'm going to not to repeat. It's like a whole big paragraph. But I'm going to pick out something. He says, he's talking about the richest businessmen. That in 1923, a group of our greatest leaders and richest businessmen held a meeting. And the whole thing about this is, this meeting was in Chicago. And he says, but 25 years later, those men became the richest men. I think, so they were all from USA. I think, I'm guessing, but the way I see the names, the Charles Schwab and all these other names, I'm not going to read all of them because it's a long list. But what's important is that he says 25 years later, those men who had a meeting, they were all rich people. 9 of these titans ended their lives as follows. Now, he's naming people and he's saying how their life ended. But what you need to know is that most of them were broke, and some ended up in prison. Then another one ended up Hobson and went insane. Then I think one killed himself. Frazier and Livermore committed suicide. The point he's trying to make, he's saying, I doubt if anyone can say what really happened to these men. Because he said the point is, today we live in the times of greater and faster change than those men did. I suspect There will be many booms and busts in the coming years that will parallel the ups and downs these men faced. The whole thing is that the men used to be very, very rich, but their ending was not good. So he's saying, I'm concerned that too many people are too focused on money and not on their greatest wealth, their education. If people are prepared to be flexible, keep an open mind and learn, they'll grow richer and richer despite tough changes. If they think money will solve problems, they'll have a rough ride. Intelligence solves problems and produces money. Money without financial intelligence is money soon gone. Most people fail to realize that in life, it's not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep. Remember, that's the lesson for the second lesson. It's how much money you keep. We've all had stories of lottery winners who are poor, then suddenly rich, and then poor again. They win millions, yet as soon back where they started. Or stories of professional athletes who are at the age of 24 are earning millions, but are sleeping under a bridge 10 years later. The lesson was you could make the money and the money could disappear quickly. So you may end up broke. So you need to learn to have financial intelligence and to go with the times. The times keep changing. Robert himself had to change because when I was learning from him the first time I got to know about this book, it was more real estate, but now you see him online. So you diversify, you change as the times change. This is the end of today. I'm going to stop here. Only for those, I think the lessons were obvious. I would think maybe I could add some of my 2 cents in, but I think it's not needed. Everything seemed clear. Please put in the comments, what do you think, what happened here? But for those who are new, I have to tell you about my schedule on this channel. On this channel, I record these books, I record them daily. 1 p.m. USA Eastern Time is when they're expected to be uploaded. If you have like a calendar somewhere, you can expect that Sherifa's video is showing up. It could show up a little bit 15 minutes, depending on how I set it up, because it comes at the premiere. So please subscribe and also check or click on the bell so that you get notified. It comes daily, this book, and when I finish it, I'll get a good one, another good one. We'll keep doing this as long as you support the videos, you keep coming and watching them. I'll keep recording them daily, except on Friday. On Friday, at the same time, 1 p.m. USA Eastern Time, please check your Google to see the equivalent where you are. I come live. We just finished the live, and you could see it's on there. This time I left it. It's not on private. It's on. You can watch what we did. And please, next Friday, come join me. It's 1 p.m. USA Eastern Time. And then I'll have another schedule that I used to do before I did the books. I started the books. It's on Thursdays and on Sundays, 30 minutes earlier, which is 12:30 USA Eastern Time, 12:30 p.m. I do on Thursday, I tend to normally focus on YouTube tips and business tips. And then on Sundays, that's what I consider my most general message. It's a motivational. It's supposed to be motivational for everyone. Sunday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, US Eastern Time. And then after that one goes, then the video still will come. The books like this. So on Thursdays and on Sundays, I have 2 videos. When we finish the tips or whatever I'm talking about, then the books still come. So you can stay around and watch the books. For those of you who want to listen to this and be ahead of me, audio is free. Amazon, Audible, you can go. I have a link in the description below. It will take you through my website actually. When you click, you'll see a box said Audible free, podcast unlimited. You go, but free for only 1 month. You have like to start an account. It's free for 1 month, and within that month maybe I will have decided I intend to share my account with you if you commit to watching these lessons, because mine is free. This book, when you go, what they're offering for free, it's all for free, but you have to make sure you upgrade your account to, I think they call it premium. I need to go check this, the way they word it. Maybe in the next video, so I say it properly. I think they call it Premium Plus to get this book. Make sure you are offered a credit. They call it, I think, a free credit, so you can watch 1 month for free. Okay, they'll give you a credit. You make sure you search for the book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, in their catalog, and then you download immediately. You can listen without downloading, or you can download your phone. It's yours free. Okay, I think that's all I had to mention. Remember, all the previous videos are in a link below, also at the end here, end screen, and also a pinned comment. So you can go listen to those. And please share this message. I think this is an important message. Most people say, I read the book, but he's improved, he's changed it. He's changed it. Because me, I read this book many times. I read this version. This one, but now this one is more. It's more, he's teaching, it's like a real classroom. Now see, he's putting notes, he's putting questions. I think it's more involved and it's a good book. So please share my videos, invite more people. Let's create a community. Let's learn. Let's learn and take steps to make our lives better. That's my video. Please take leave a comment, and also remember to like. Assuming you liked it, please like and leave a comment and share. Like I always end these videos, I say take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your health. Good care, I mean. Take a step to a better you. Bye-bye.